Hi and welcome to the Beer Temple. I am Chris Quinn and I am joined by my lovely wife Margaret Quinn.
Hello everyone.
Hello. And this is episode number 116, Canned American Pilsners.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Max is protecting the homeland there.
Yeah.
But it's such like sort of a twist on, I guess, canned American Pilsners, you should probably say.
So canned craft Pilsners. So yeah, we're going all natural again. So if you hear the birds chirping, which is probably what Max hears and why he's barking at them. Max has a ingrained hatred for all things that are living, except people. And but anyway, yeah. So it's kind of the new school pills. Some of these consider themselves American Pilsners, but real quick, a Pilsner is a style of lager. All beers are either ales or lagers, pretty much without exception. And Pilsners are lagers. They came from Pilsen. We did a show on Bohemian lagers. Those are Czech style lagers. And then there's a German style lager, which are a little bit lighter, crisper. They can also be more bitter at times as well. I would imagine that these are going to be more in the German tradition, even though they call themselves American Pilsners, which traditionally American Pilsners are like Yingling or like, some of these post-prohibition, maybe like Schlitz or stuff like that. They have adjuncts in them. They have corn or rice or something like that. These are going to be all malt, I would almost guarantee, just like all German pills if they're to the Reinheitsgebot. My guess is they're going to be even more assertive, though, on the very high end of the spectrum for the German pill styles in terms of bitterness and hop character, for sure. I know some of them also are using varieties of hops that wouldn't be considered appropriate for German pills.
Sure.
So, and the other thing is, these are beers that are only available in cans. So you can't get them in bottles. They might be available in keg, but the only way you can actually purchase it and bring it home for consumption in a little case is in cans.
Yeah. So let's get started.
Let's get going. So the first is the newest beer from New Belgium. This is their Shift Pale Lager. New Belgium is pretty much all over the place at this point, but they started out primarily focusing on Belgian beers, Belgian styles, and now they're kind of doing whatever. Now they're doing an IPA and Belgian IPAs, and now the Shift Lager. This is the Pale Lager, and they're saying it started out as their employee-only shift beer. If you know anyone who works in a brewery, you'll know that they have shift beers afterwards. And this was kind of, I guess, their shift beer. They wanted something light and drinkable, and this is kind of what they did, and now they've released it to the public. My guess is they kind of tweaked it a little bit first.
And that's what I think is so interesting about this show and this style in general, and as well as also that the fact that these are canned beers.
Right.
I think craft brewers are trying to compete with, like that happy hour, gonna sit down at the bar, have just something I can knock back pretty quickly and easily, not an in-your-face craft beer. And I really think that that's what we're seeing here today.
Yeah, so these are, absolutely. So, and one interesting thing about this beer I was just looking up is, well, it's 5% alcohol, but it's hopped with Cascade and Nelson Sauvin, which is a New Zealand hop known for its grapey or like green grape leaf character. Cascade is grapefruit, neither of which would ever be appropriate in a Pilsner. So let's see. And they just say pale lager, to be fair. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is I guess a pale gold, medium gold maybe.
Yeah.
It's definitely got
very bright, crystal clear. Nice foamy head on the top.
And it's, definitely, you can tell already that it has more character than a macro lager would have. Or
much darker.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see right away, even though they're I think, kind of going for that audience, they're bringing something a lot better to the table.
Yeah, and you're getting a nice kind of toasted bread on the nose, very light. You're also getting a little bit of like a floral hop.
Yeah, absolutely. I get like some sweetness in that. Maybe it's that Nelson Sauvin hop, because oftentimes that always reminds me of like grapes and little wine, maybe like a Sauvignon Blanc type wine.
Yeah.
You know, and I do kind of get like that sweet fruit notes out of this.
I'm almost getting like dusty leaves or something, and malt. Nice, well balanced, but you know, certainly isn't jumping. Hops are not jumping at you. They're playing a supporting role, or they're really, it's a duet between the malt and the hops. Yeah. I'm not sure of the exact age of. Oh, here we go. Best Buy, September 9th. I was going to say I wasn't sure of the exact age, but the beer is so new it can't be old. It came out in March, and it's now June, so
yeah,
it's not that old.
So for me personally, I feel like this is a little flat, and I don't mean like lacking bubbles. I mean, I wanted more out of this. Based on the nose of this, I really kind of wanted it to have something a little more going on the taste.
Yeah, there's just a hint of bitterness. It's really a malt-driven beer, maybe more like a American Helles than an American Pils even. I was expecting it to have a little bit more hop flavor, and a little bit more bitterness. Not a bad beer. I mean, certainly would compete with some of the beers that they're going after. Yeah, you all right?
I love that beer. It's awesome.
So, yeah, I mean, it's fine. There's nothing really wrong with it, but there's nothing exceptionally great with it either. I think, you know, there's a lot of other beers out there in the same category that you could probably do better for. And my goal here is trying to find the best, you know, Pils I can find. One notable exception, Dale's Little Yellow Pils. We don't get it. It's such a good Pils. That would really round it out.
Exactly. If you're in Colorado, you have luckily you have a lot of nice beer to choose from.
So this beer, I mean, it's fine. I'm gonna go 87 with it. It's a good beer. It's got a nice malt flavor, a little bit of that toasted grain in there, just a hint of it, of that kind of bready character, a little bit of that leafy green hop as well. Not really getting any citrus or anything, which I'm okay with, but
yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I mean, I was gonna go lower than 87, but I do like the nose on it, so it does, you know, kind of intrigue me with that. So I think 87 is probably fair for that beer.
Cool. Moving on. $8.99 a 4-pack, so not a cheap beer.
No, it's not.
That's the other thing that you're seeing more of. You're seeing these 16-ounce cans, and they're selling them at 6-pack price. So this 4-pack is the same as their 6-pack prices, but ounce for ounce, you're only getting 5 beers worth. So I think that's a reason you're starting to see more 4-pack 16-ounce cans. Start thinking about that, guys. You know,
it's true.
Really.
It's something you don't really, doesn't jump out at you, but you're absolutely right. It's kind of a little trick of the eye, I guess, a little bit, because you see this big can and you kind of think, well, it all evens out.
Yep.
So
and I've even seen the same beer in 2 formats, like Sierra Nevada's Torpedo, not to go off track too much, is available 6-pack bottles, 4-pack 16-ounce cans, same price, same beer. One you're just getting 5 beers worth. But you can take one camping or to a pool or something like that. So, whatever. I doubt it costs them more to can than it does to bottle.
Right. What are we drinking?
All right, we are drinking now a beer from 6 Point Brewing. First time we've had these guys on the show. They are from Brooklyn and really went from being a very small brewery just in Brooklyn only, or in the immediate area, draft only. In fact, I remember seeing them when I was out in Brooklyn a couple years ago and trying some of their beers, to kind of being all over the place, at least all over the place in Chicago. I mean, they hit this market really hard, and they only they only do these kind of tall boy styles. In fact, they have a 12-ounce tall boy can, which is kind of cool looking. They're double IPA. Really nice packaging as well. A lot of information on here. This is called the Crisp. This is their, I guess, German Pils. It gives you the alcohol, the size, in milliliters, ounces, or a pint, IBU, SRM, and that it's a lager. The one thing they don't tell you is what style of beer it is, which people have, complained about. The other thing they tell you is...
But you know it's crisp, so...
Right.
You got that going for you.
The other thing is there's these lightning bolts up here, and if the thing is below the lightning bolt. If you can see, that means it's bottom fermenting. Most of them have the lightning bolt on the bottom with it above, meaning it's top fermenting. So they even tell you that as well.
This feels like a little bit like National Treasure, or like one of those movies where like they're analyzing the signs of the symbols of the Masons.
What's the name for that?
Yeah, the Illuminati say that the triangle means that it's an all-seeing eye, which means the government's out to get you. Look out.
Yes.
So, moving on.
So they called this originally Serre Crisp. So the Serre, I don't know, it's
what's a Serre?
Serre, like S-E-H-R, like the German, the crisp, Serre Crisp.
Okay.
I don't know, something like that. German style pills, 42 IBU, which is at the very, very high end of what a German pills would be. Someone like, you know, some of those North German pills maybe get up there.
So again, you know, nice pale gold color. Little fluffy head, you know, it's kind of dyed a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit lighter. Again, brilliantly clear. What I like about this, just sticking my nose in it right, and the first thing I notice is it's got a really nice bready character, not quite as toasty as the Shift, but it also has that minerality that I personally love and look for in a German style pills.
Yeah.
That really nice kind of almost rocky mineral quality to it.
Yeah, totally agree. And I don't get any of that kind of sweet floral citrusy type hop that I was getting on the Shift.
But you do get a definite earthy continental hop in there. So it's going to be like herbaceous, more, not like quite oregano, but like oregano, thyme, those sort of things. Not like basil, sage, you know.
I cheated, I tasted it already.
It's fine.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I get the minerals in it, you know, kind of on the very back end.
Yeah.
But I still feel a little let down. Maybe I had higher hopes for these. Or maybe I just need to, you know, realize that this isn't going to be, you know,
these are also
blow
quaffing beers.
Yeah,
you know, these are beers that
right.
you're supposed to have in a big glass, drinking in big sips. And, yeah, so I think this goes down very easy. It does have quite a bit of bitterness. Now, as you're sitting here, you really start to taste it as much as you would get from like an APA. You know, much more bitter than really almost any German pills I can think of, except for maybe Jever.
Yeah.
And
yeah, this is pretty nice.
It's nice, yeah.
It's growing on me. The first sip I was like, meh, but it is nice. It is something I did, you know, could go on a hot summer day. In fact, we're having fried chicken for dinner, and I think both of these beers could go really well with fried chicken, or, you know, just kind of cutting through some of that fat.
It's also got a nice kind of creamy mouth feel. Just a slightly full, you know, medium light body, but for pills that feels a little bit more full. I'm really getting that minerality in there a lot in the aftertaste, as well as the bitterness. You know, it might be a little bit much, that bitterness, if you're going to be putting down a couple of them, but these days, you know, everyone loves the bitter. Certainly like it more than the Shift.
Yeah, me too.
These come in at, I think, the same price, maybe $1 more for this. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to look it up before I put it online.
So for me, score-wise, I would say maybe an 89. That feels a little high, to be honest, but if I said 87 for the Shift, I did like it considerably more than the Shift, so that puts me in the 89 frame.
Yeah. I'm gonna go I'll go 89 as well. I think it's good. I think it's, you know, a nice little step up. I'd go 89 and a half even. Both of these are very clean. There's no fruity esters. It's just pure malt and hop. And you taste the water as well, which is exactly what you want. The yeast is really playing a back seat to it.
Max is on the move. I hear him.
That's fine.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Getting ready to bark at a bicycle, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Finally, rounding out the show.
Yeah. You're a woman on a mission. So this is the You Want to Eat Some Chicken. Joe's Premium American Pills from Avery out in Colorado.
Boulder, Colorado?
Yep, Boulder, Colorado. We have some pictures, although I don't know if it would be appropriate. We'll have Avery on again, and I'll show some pictures from the brewery.
Yeah.
We have like barrels and stuff. Really cool little place. Really fun little tap room. If you're ever in Boulder, definitely check it out. They've got a little, it's an industrial complex, but there's like a corporate caterer or something across the street. So they set up a little thing where you can order from the caterer, and he just like opens up his door and hands you stuff, and you walk it back to Avery.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It is cool. This is their Pilsner. One of the beers that's only available in cans from them. They bottle most of their things. And they can a lot, though, and they have for a while.
Yeah, really. I just canning to me, it's new, you know, but all of a sudden it just seems like everybody started canning, so I just assume that it's new for everybody. But I mean, yeah, you're right. There's guys out there who've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. This beer is also coming in at, I think, 40 or 50 IBU. This is an American-style pils that they wanted to hop up. I mean, they play up how hoppy this beer is, so we'll have to see. First thing I noticed is much more in line with what I would expect a German pils to look like. Now, they call this Premium American Pils right on the on
the
here.
label, yeah. Yeah, much paler than the other two beers. I mean, this is like, gosh, it's...
And this is brilliantly clear.
Yeah, it really is. And it almost looks like, an unoaked Chardonnay or like a, you know...
Champagne.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it looks like a kind of a medium-bodied white wine. Looks great.
Yeah, really nice looking beer. This beer is from... Oh, it's... I've kind of... I'm guessing at the production code on the bottom that this beer is... March... About 2.5 months old, so fairly good for a pils. You know, it's not screaming fresh, but certainly okay. Very clean. You get a nice light bread, like a white bread almost, doughy quality to it. No toast at all, like the others. And
I feel like I do get some like fruit again or something like that.
Well,
like
I'm
sweetness.
I get that too, but I think it's almost like a floral, herbaceous, and I think that's the hops.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain that those are the hops. It smells almost like not quite a Saaz, but maybe some sort of German hop that can get a little kind of almost like I don't know if this exists, but like a lemon blossom type thing, like a lemony floral smell to it. A little herbaceous, little green as well. Really nice. Subtle, but nice.
Yeah. I don't know about this one. I mean, kind of leaves me feeling, again, sort of a little flat. There is like, I get, you know, like a significant amount of bitterness in this. And then again, with the minerality, I do get some of that mineral flavor.
Yeah. It's the hoppiest of the three. I get a little bit of bitterness, but I get a lot of hop flavor in my mouth right now. A lot of that floral, grassy, herbaceous note. Almost a little bit of like a astringency as well.
Yeah.
A little bit of like a tannic quality to it, drying in my mouth.
Yeah.
Very light, the lightest of the three, as you can tell just by looking at it. And bitter. Yeah, I mean, you know, now that the bitterness is starting to grow, it's bitter and floral, and you know, it's a little bit out of balance, I think.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine. It's just not really doing it for me either. I think for me, this is probably in the same caliber as the Shift. Just, you know, sort of different things going on. You know, much more bitter than the Shift, but and more hops for sure than the Shift. But you know, just still kind of lackluster for me.
Yeah, I like it a little bit more than the Shift. I think the Crisp is probably my favorite of the three, and I think I gave this an 89 plus. I'll probably give this an 88 plus. I put them kind of close together. I do like the hop that they're going for here. I just think the Crisp has a little bit more backing to it. It's a little bit more well balanced and rounded out.
So I'll go 87 for this. I mean, for me, for my money, I'd rather have like a Kolsch. I mean, than any of these beers.
Well,
I mean, if I'm gonna
for my money, I'd rather have an awesome German pils.
Well, that's true. Yeah, but I mean,
We're gonna go to style. I'm gonna go for a pils.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'd rather have a Trumer.
For something I'm gonna have like a lot of gulps of and kick back pretty easily. I would not be, I guess, heading in this direction.
Yeah. You know, I'm not going to say that I wouldn't pick up any of these three. I think I could see myself picking up a 4-pack of the Crisp if I'm going to go out to the park or somewhere where there aren't bottles allowed, and I want something light, you know. I don't really want a double IPA.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah. So there you have it, guys. 3 decent beers that are American-style Pilsners in cans. The Shift, the Crisp, and the Avery. Our favorite was the Crisp today. Not wowed by any of them, but all of them I think were solid beers. So if you're kind of a hophead and you like pills, you might want to check one of them out.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much, as always, for watching us. Let me know what you think. Drop me a line. I always like to hear that. I don't know, anything you'd like to add?
Let's go eat chicken.
Margaret? Well, you're already off in another little land.
I can smell it.
All right, guys. Well, we've got chicken to eat, and we've got some pretty good American-style Pilsners in cans to drink along with it. And, hey, hopefully you do too. Thanks, guys.